Hello, and welcome to The Explainer. So, the other day, I stumbled across one of those 100-question trivia quizzes online. You know the type. The ones that claim to cover all the things everyone should know. And that phrase, everyone should know, it really stuck with me. What does that actually mean?
So don't worry, we're not going to make you sit through the quiz. Instead, we're using it as our source material to dig into this whole idea of general knowledge. What kinds of facts pop up again and again? And maybe more importantly, why those facts? Why are those the ones we're all expected to have in our back pocket?
All right, to get our heads around this, we've broken down all the questions from that quiz into three big themes. First, we'll look at what I'm calling the code of our world. Then we'll dive into our human story, and we'll wrap up with some of nature's surprising facts. Let's jump in.
Okay, so this first category is the code of our world. It turns out a huge slice of general knowledge is basically the operating system for reality. We're talking the numbers, the measurements, the scientific principles that everything else is kind of built upon. Take this number, for example, 360. Of course, it's the number of degrees in a circle, but that's not just some random fact for a math test. It's a foundational concept for, well, almost everything. Geometry, navigation, engineering, even art. It's a core rule we use to measure and understand space itself.
And here's another one. 100. The number of centimeters in a meter. Just like degrees in a circle, the metric system is a shared language. It's a way for us to understand the physical world and, communicate about it universally. It's all part of that code. Now, this code isn't just about the world out there. It's about us too. For instance, knowing there are 206 bones in an adult human body, that's not just for doctors. It's like having the basic blueprint for the very machine we all live inside. It's the biological part of the code. The same thing goes for basic chemistry. Knowing that H2O is water is like knowing a letter in the alphabet of our physical universe. These aren't just random symbols. They're the names of the most essential building blocks of our entire world.
And yep, even simple math like knowing the square root of 9 or 64 popped up on the quiz. It all points back to this one idea. A huge part of general knowledge is just being fluent in the shared logical code we all use to make sense of the world.
Okay, that brings us to our second big theme, our human story. So, if the first part was about the rules of reality, this next part is about what humanity has done with those rules. This is the stuff that tells the story of our art, our conflicts, our greatest achievements. Think about it. Knowing that Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet, or Da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa, or that France gave the U.S. the Statue of Liberty, that's not just trivia. No way! It's your ticket to being part of a centuries-long conversation about art, love, and freedom. These are our shared cultural bookmarks.
And it's not just about art. Specific dates and events. They act like pins on the map of our collective story. Knowing when the Titanic sank, or when a human first walked on the moon, it helps us trace the arc of the modern world. And as you can see, that story is absolutely still being written today.
General knowledge also helps us build this sort of mental map of the globe. We link Italy with pizza, Japan with sushi, Egypt with the pyramids. It creates this global shorthand, a quick and easy way to identify the cultural signatures of different places around the world.
All right, for our third and final section, we're shifting gears from the human world to the purely natural one. This is the category I love to call nature's surprising facts. This is less about rules and more about the whoa moments, the delightful, kind of strange, and often counterintuitive truths about the world around us.
For instance, did you know a shark has 0 bones? Its whole skeleton is made of cartilage? Or how about this? An octopus has 3 hearts. Now, these facts aren't going to help you navigate your city, but they do something else. They inspire this sense of awe and make us super curious about just how weird biology can get.
The quiz was packed with questions just like this one. These superlative facts, the biggest, the fastest, the oldest, are a huge part of general knowledge. It seems like we just have this deep need to know who the champions are. So, what do you think?
It is, of course, the cheetah. Knowing this, it helps us appreciate the absolute outer limits of the natural world. It gives us a benchmark for what's even possible. Basically, the gold medal winner in the Animal Olympics. And here's another great one that taps right into that sense of wonder. This question points to something that sounds almost like a superpower. It's a fact that really stretches our ideas of what a living thing is capable of.
And the answer is the starfish. I mean, knowing an animal can do this doesn't feel like just another piece of data. It feels like finding a little bit of actual magic right here on planet Earth. This is knowledge that's just pure delight.
And finally, this category also has these simple, ordered lists that describe nature. Knowing the 7 colors of the rainbow is such a classic piece of general knowledge. It's a beautifully simple tidbit that helps us organize and appreciate something we see all the time.
So after breaking down that whole quiz, let's circle all the way back to our big question. What is general knowledge? Well, it seems it's not just a pile of random facts at all. It's actually a pretty structured system of information, and each piece serves a real purpose.
In the end, general knowledge is really a shared language. It's a mix of that fundamental code we use to make sense of reality, the cultural story that connects all of us to each other, and the amazing wonders of nature that keep us curious. It's really the baseline info we need to navigate the world together.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Knowledge isn't static, right? 100 years ago, the idea that a person could walk on the moon was pure science fiction. Today, it's general knowledge. So, my question for you is, what's one fact that we're all learning about right now that you think will be on this essential list a century from today? Something to think about. Thanks for joining.